All things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
I don't understand what's the problem.
Fat, black, and ugly in Times Square is wild.
Y'all talking about her? She look like your mother.
Like, they really think we're a joke.
She look like your mother.
Big behind, 12-foot, overweight, black woman.
She look like me.
You look like me.
That is what they chose to represent us.
I am very happy that she's there.
That's what they think about us, y'all.
She's very intimidating. When you walk by her, you just gotta respect her. And the only person that should really be mad is a black woman.
There's nothing attractive about the statue.
And we're not mad.
It's like this monster.
I am beyond disgusted. This is the statue they chose to create to represent black women. It's in New York, okay? This. And I've seen comment sections of women celebrating this and saying this is the average woman. I am so disgusted by this. And I may offend some people, but you guys know, it is what it is, okay? Representation matters. I don't know if you guys understand that, but as black women, why do a lot of us want to see us at our worst? Us being represented at our worst, right? Other races of women, the women that represent them, they're gonna have a certain aesthetic, right? They're gonna be visually appealing. They're going to represent them at their best, but we want to be represented at our best, at our worst, so bad, just so we can feel good about ourselves. Why are we proud of being overweight? Because this is what this statue represents: overweight, stressed out. They couldn't even give her a decent outfit. Look at this. And even her stance, look at this. She looks angry, stressed out, overworked, unloved. And this is what we're celebrating. Her pants don't even fit right. Like this is repulsive. I'm sorry. It's repulsive. And this is what they play in our face all the time. This is the representation that they want out there so that other races, even countries, because we know New York is a huge, tourist attraction or whatever, right? A lot of people from out of the country come to New York, especially, Times Square. This is what represents black women. This is what we want out in the media. Why? Just so we can feel good about being overweight, overworked, overstressed, instead of actually working on ourselves to get out of that state, right? Instead of that, black women are wanting to see, themselves on being overweight. We celebrate crap like that instead of actually saying, wait a minute.
Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today, we're going to talk about a touchy subject: women and their weight. It's not necessarily a touchy subject for men. The dad bod has been a well-known fact between men for years. It's not as bad as an aesthetic as an overweight woman. This is a touchy subject, and I want women out there to chime in, leave comments in the comment section of what you think about this. And for those of you who can't see this on iHeartRadio, you can go to my YouTube page if you want to see the whole video. But let's talk about this statue that they erected in New York. I'm looking at this statue right now, and it's I see the pattern. I'm just gonna put it to you like this. Women have led the way in all of our protests. More men, black men, are conservative, and more black women are liberal. And the lead to tear down the statues of white men who kept us in slavery that charge wasn't just led by black men. At the head of our forefront of our movements mostly be black women. And the pattern I see in all of this is they're trying to show you who you are. Overweight, bigger than life, loudmouth, uncooperative, larger than life, vulgarious, all of those things. And sometimes even violent, sometimes can get people killed or get people thrown in jail. Make no mistake about it, they put that statue there for a reason. It's there to show you who you are. If you take away the wigs, if you take away the eyeliner, the eyelashes, take off all of this lighter skin makeup, you know, they're trying to show you who you are. And they did it in a way to make it seem like it's not racist. You got to understand where this is coming from. How they did it was they got a black man from Europe because he don't have any ties or loyalty to what they call the black community in America. He sees you from being a black man in Europe and coming here and viewing you as the black woman. That's what he sees as an artist. Somebody commissioned him for that statue. And they put it up in one of the deepest, blackest cities in America, New York, full of black and Puerto Ricans. I see the pattern in this. Let me explain what I mean when I say I see the pattern. You got to understand where this is coming from. The business,
The Daily Read.
The pattern I see in all of this is exactly what they did to the prison system. Okay? This is the pattern that I see coming from the prison system. Okay? In the prison system, you got hundreds of thousands of black men. Like all of us are just criminals. The same charges that we get and go to prison for, white men get those charges too and get probation for it. Understand the pattern. Listen to me very carefully if you're hearing my voice on iHeartRadio. Listen very carefully how this is being played. What they did, so many black men was writing lawsuits on white officers in prison because they would come in their cell, tear their cell up, and tell them, you can't do nothing about it. I'm a guard and you're an inmate. So what they did was they went and got a whole bunch of black women from the streets. You can see the advertising all on YouTube, on the news. You know, security guards want it. Prison guards want it. They're targeting black people to be prison guards. Why is that? Mostly black women. I saw it because I was locked up in the 90s, got out, got back locked up in the early 2000s. And just that short period of time, I saw the change. When I first got locked up in the early 90s, it was mostly white guards, mostly black inmates. When I got back locked up for a couple of years, they had changed it to where all of the white guards had leadership positions on the outskirts of the prison, and they filled the prison with blacks like they did in the 90s, but they also filled the prison with black COs, black officers, black females. All right? Even the jailhouses. You hear it all the time. I'm down here in Atlanta right now. And they just had it on the news with three black girls that was officers in the Atlanta jailhouse, got caught having sex with inmates, bringing in cell phones, bringing in drugs. See, it's a lot of manipulation going on here. If you try to file a lawsuit against a black officer that came and harassed you in prison, the judge is going to throw it out. You know why? Because that's a black officer and you a black inmate. How can you claim that's racism? Look at the pattern, people. There's a pattern to this. You got a lot of black females who done got up into society to where they're being a problem. They're not worried about black men because they have sufficiently suppressed black men to the point where they have placed the black woman ahead of the black man in college, in the prison system, in the streets, in law enforcement. So they're not worried about the black men. Now we got these females coming in here more educated, more attitude, larger than life. Now you got this statue. They're showing you who you are. That's my take on it. I see the pattern. And we're finna go deeper into this because especially with this newscaster, Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters, he took the place of what's his name? What's his face? The other racist newscaster on Fox. He took his place. Hannity, Sean Hannity. And before Sean Hannity, it was that other guy, the Irish guy with the bald head. You see, they replaced these white men with other white men who are younger but still have the same bigoted influences that the previous one had. And Jesse Waters, even though he's making sense, he couldn't wait to speak on this. You can tell it in his voice. Let's listen to him.
Even Frederick Douglass all got torn down. Statues are important. They tell the American story. But the left wants to desecrate and forget our heroes and erect their own statues. In Times Square, a giant statue of a black woman just went up.
What he just said, listen to him closely. They want to, who is they? Black people, want to tear down our heroes. Who are your heroes? Slave masters. And erect our own. Listen to what his words say. Even if he's making sense, there shouldn't be a statue of a person unless they went out here and did something to deserve it. I get that. Everything he's saying is correct. It's not coming from a place of sense though. It's coming from a place of bigotry. All you gotta do is hear it in his voice. Listen to it.
And when I heard about the statue, I was open-minded. American heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Who is this woman? What did she do to get a statue? A nice one, too. Nothing. This isn't a real person. It's a DEI statue. The sculptor says she's a fictional character who's meant to contrast the statues of white.
They have turned the word DEI into a reverse racism word. DEI was meant for getting black men and women and minorities, period, into the workforce. It shouldn't be considered a bad word. These people are master manipulators.
Men in Times Square, like Father Duffy, a World War I hero who actually accomplished something. The artist calls this fake lady a modern-day David. The contrapposto pose of her body and the ease of her stance is a subtle nod to Michelangelo's David. Huh. David was a celebration of the human form. Not sure what this statue's celebrating. If you were gonna put up a fake statue, why not make her happy and healthy? Not slap a big scowl on her face and her hands on her hips.
That's how he view black women. Scowl on her face, hands on her hips, like she defiant with attitude. He couldn't wait to say that. All of this was plotted out. And then they made it look where it's not racist by hiring a black man from Europe to make this statue. And I don't think he did it on purpose. He sees what he sees. He's a black man from Europe. So when he comes to America, black men and black women have already been at each other's throats. Because black women don't know how to sit back like white women and Mexican women and Hispanic women do and say, you know what, I'm not the leader of this, my man is. So the European black man can only see what he comes here to see. But the white people that commissioned him, they knew exactly what this was. They knew exactly what this was. And a person like him couldn't wait to have this statue so he can talk about it.
This is what they want us to aspire to be? If you work hard, you can be overweight and anonymous? They don't like real statues because it reminds them of our society's merit-based system. They want a society based on equity.
That's a lie. You see how he master manipulated that? We don't want statues of slave masters. We don't care about making statues of people who accomplished something. But if your greatest accomplishment was to have 1,000 slaves just because you fought in a war, I don't want to see your face.
Where achievement isn't celebrated, equal outcomes are. So they celebrate mediocrity instead of triumph. Our nation has hundreds of statues honoring black Americans, as we should. Harriet Tubman, Duke Ellington, Jackie Robinson, Rosa Parks. We could go on and on and on. But they built a statue in Times Square. They could have done it for Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris or Oprah Winfrey. Usually you have to earn a statue. I'd give one to Jalen Brunson. He's carrying the Knicks on his back. Anyone but a fake lady. So, what does New York think about the DEI statue?
Wait till you hear this shit.
Do you know who this woman is?
No. I have no idea, no.
No. I have no idea, no.
No, I do not.
Do you have any idea of maybe something that she accomplished that got her a statue?
Something with equal rights? I don't know.
Something to do with like the black community.
Part of the BLM movement? What if I told you she accomplished nothing?
Really?
It's supposed to embody everybody. Does that make sense to you?
No.
I think I feel totally represented by that.
You do?
No.
I feel like it's a good representation for New York, especially because it's towards the BBW women and a lot
I'm sorry,
of people.
what's BBW?
Big black, like the big black woman.
And you heard what she just said? She looked like she's black, maybe mixed with something, but she understood what that statue stands for. That woman looked like she got a pamper on. All of that's gut right there.
Anything about her pose? Is that a good pose?
No, I don't think she's happy to be here.
People are comparing it to Michelangelo's David. How do you think it stacks up?
She's wearing more clothes. She's not naked, no.
Would it be better if she were?
That's a tough question.
Who do you think she...
You hear that? Sexualization.
voted for?
I would say Trump. I think she voted for Trump.
Probably Kamala.
Why do you think that?
Black Lives Matter.
Probably didn't vote
Why?
because she's stuck here the whole day. She couldn't get to the polls.
That's not what he meant. He said that to be PC, politically correct. He said she probably didn't vote because 9 times out of 10, if you're not conscious about what's going on with the news and politics, most black communities don't vote. He hit it on the head.
How does she make you feel? Like a baddie.
What a beautiful piece. Standing in the middle of Times Square. What a beautiful time.
Jimmy Fail is the host of Fox News Saturday Night.
There it is.
Have you checked this statue out?
I've watched it. It is not quite Michelangelo's David. It's more like Michelangelo's Lizzo.
You hear the jokes? Lizzo, fat Lizzo, overweight Lizzo.
We're going to be honest. And when I say Michelangelo, I mean the migrant dressed as the Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo.
Oh, that Michelangelo.
That's hanging out in Times Square.
Ninja Turtle. Overweight Ninja Turtle.
My son plays with.
Amen. Everything wrong with liberals is they're into slacktivism over activism, meaning this is supposed to be outreach to the minority community, changing a statue. But you don't improve test scores or lower crime by changing what a pigeon goes potty on in the park. Because that's ultimately what a statue, that's its impact on society, is it's a restroom for things that fly. But you understand, it's called, I love this, I looked at the placard, it's called Grounded in the Stars. That's what this is supposed to be.
Let's break down Grounded in the Stars, because that's what this statue is named. I want to make this clear. When you grounded in the stars, that means you're delusional. What do the stars represent? The stars represent the heavens. You're always looking up, never seeing what's around you. You're always looking for the next big thing. You're grounded in the stars. You're overweight. Many would say undesirable and delusional at the same time. That's what this is about. Grounded in the stars. That's the name of what this statue represents. Let's get back to it.
What does that mean?
Well, it's a fancy way of saying you're grounded in weed and bum pee, because what is in Times Square right now? And if you wanted to make a statue that memorialized the women of Times Square, it would be a hooker with an Adam's apple.
Crazy. You see the vitriol coming out of these white men? Straight vitriol.
Let's be honest. This is embarrassing.
It's insulting, because there's so many other great statues you could put up: black, white, skinny, obese. It doesn't matter. It's about the accomplishment, not what they look like. It's just an identity politics statue.
It's total scam. Think about this. D.C. has a statue of Marion Barry. He was elected mayor twice. Now the statue does have a crack in it. Hey, there it is. And you know how you mentioned maybe we should make one for Michelle Obama? That is actually a no, because she would complain forever. Would you want to be that sculptor? Yo, she is the Meghan Markle of politics. She complained about everything. But the point is, there are people to honor, and there's really one point. When you tear down statues, what people don't get is, yes, those folks didn't share our values, but the reason our values evolved is because of those folks. They were the best people in the world at the time who moved the ball forward on behalf of this country. That's why it's a scam. What did she move forward besides a rolling pin on a pie she was making?
Are you
crazy? You hear the vitriol coming out of these white men? Craziness. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there is not a problem with the black women in our community. Don't get it fucked up. But there's a plot here. They're showing you, they're putting a picture up of you to your face in the middle of Times Square.
Are you sure this isn't Tish James?
No. You want to know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because she would have been devaluing the value of the statue, saying it was only worth $4 million, it was probably worth 12.
All right, one day we're going to have a statue of Jimmy in Times Square.
It's going to be high.
And I'm going to topple it.
Oh my God, good for you.
It's going to be hard.
I love it.
I love it. All right, Ellen, click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.
Before I get to this next guy right here, I just want to say something. I want to go back to this woman right here. She was absolutely disgusted by this statue. And I want you to hear her words and how she feels about this.
I'm
seen comment sections of women celebrating this and saying this is the average woman. I am so disgusted by this, and I may offend some people, but you guys know, it is what it is. Okay, representation matters. I don't know if you guys understand that, but as Black women, why do a lot of us want to see us at our worst? Us being represented at our worst, right? Other races of women, the women that represent them, they're gonna have a certain aesthetic, right? They're gonna be visually appealing. They're going to represent them at their best, but we want to be represented at our best, at our worst, so bad, just so we can feel good about ourselves. Why are we proud of being overweight? Because this is what this statue represents: overweight, stressed out. They couldn't even give her a decent outfit. Look at this. And even her stance. Look at this. She looks angry, stressed out, overworked, unloved. And this is what we're celebrating? Her pants don't even fit right. Like, this is repulsive. I'm sorry. It's repulsive. And this is what they play in our face all the time. This is the representation that they want out there so that other races, even countries, because we know New York is a huge, tourist attraction or whatever, right? A lot of people from out of the country come to New York, especially, Times Square. This is what represents Black women.
Now, I want to say something about what she just said. She's right and she's wrong. This is a plot to let foreigners and people know this is how they view us. But she's wrong because foreigners, when they come here, this is how they view Black women. Like this. Overweight, sassy, shit coming out their mouth like they tough. And as soon as you step up and say something to them, you're a bad person. You shouldn't say nothing about their weight. You shouldn't say nothing about their attitude, the scowl. Always want more than what they're really worth. She looked like she done had 3 kids. Straight up. And she probably looking for a man making over 6 figures. You see it all the time. But this is what we got to deal with, and deal with it in silence. Because when you speak up about it, when you say something about it, you considered a womanizer. They try to shame you, call you gay, call you sassy. Black men don't want this. We'll fuck it. Because sometimes that's the only way we can get pussy. I'm just finna be real with you. We'll fuck it. But black men ain't going out trying to wife this up. We're not trying to wife this up. We getting tired of this. But this is what we got to deal with. You know, the overweight woman that had multiple kids by multiple different men, and now she expecting you to come in and toe the line. A lot of black men have let the line go. Like, shit, I'm out. They've gotten their passports. They getting ghosts. They getting missing. You hear it all the time. Where all the men go? Let me give you guys a story real quick before we continue on. This needs to be said. This needs to be said. Both of my daughters are grown. And by the most part, I raised them. They're not in the streets. They're not out here jacking their ass up every time they hear their favorite song come on the internet. One of my daughters went to the military. The other daughter of mine is a nurse and she has a degree. This is why fathers in the home are very important. Okay? I'm not saying I'm squeaky clean. I've been out here and done some things I ain't proud of. But I tried to raise them to the best I can. That's not saying I didn't have help from females. Now, what I want to say is this. My daughter called me. She wanted some advice. She said she went on a date with a guy who got a little money. He took her out. They had a good time. And then he texted her saying that he wanted to have a polygamous relationship. She said, Dad, what you think about that? I said, well, it depends on you. I wouldn't want that for you. But if that's what you want, I can't stop that. But I will tell you this, if you don't want that in a relationship with your man, tell him to fuck off. Just like that. She said, yeah, I kind of figured that. She said, but I don't want to deal with no dusty, no dude that ain't got no car, that ain't got this. I said, Cheyenne, this is what I told my daughter. Get in your car. She has a roommate. Get in your car with your roommate, your homegirl. Both of these girls are working. Drive down the street. You see that construction worker, that black guy, maybe in his early 30s or late 20s, with that jackhammer in his hand, pouring concrete, driving a truck, driving a forklift. She said, yeah, but I don't want no guy that ain't got no money and living in the house with his mama and ain't got no car. Hold up. I said, hold up. Listen to me very carefully. This is what the average black woman thinks about black men. You're either wealthy or you King Von standing on somebody's corner with your pants sagging, ready to do some drills. Black women ain't looking at the middle guys because they don't want that. They done got out here and got these babies. Some of these women are busted and disgusted, and now they got their head in the clouds when they should have their head right here around the men that are around them. You make 60 to 70,000 a year as a woman. Your husband is a forklift driver. Your husband is a mechanic. Your husband is a bus driver. You heard this woman, Ebony K. Williams, talking about she wouldn't date a bus driver, she would date the guy that owns the bus company. You got to be joking. You ain't even cut like that. She might make a little more money than the average person because she's a news person. She does interviews and news and stuff like that. But just because you make a little more money than the average person, your husband is that construction guy. Come home with the dust on his boots. My daughter went from dating a guy that had money to turn around and telling me she really don't want to date nobody that ain't got no house or no car. I said, what are you talking about? I didn't tell you to go out here and find some bum. There are millions of men in America that got decent jobs. How do you equate? And see, this is what black women do. This is why their statue is erected in Times Square, because this is what they do. They try to equate a man who drives a truck, a man who works construction jobs, a man who works at a warehouse. They try to look at him like he's a dusty bum standing on the corner with all the rest of the YNs. And that's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. So what's happening is the men in the middle ground are suffering. You either consider a YN, a young nigga out here on the block with your pants sagging, living with your mama, and ain't got a pot to piss in, or you super rich, freaky as hell, want to have a polygamous relationship. These women have totally looked over. You don't even exist to these people. So this is why I say that statue is saying a lot. That statue in Times Square is saying a lot, because this is the women that the middle men have to deal with. You ain't overweight just because you eating. You overweight because you done had 3 or 4 babies by 3 or 4 different men. So now these are the women that we got to choose from. And then you come with all kinds of problems, all kinds of attitude, don't know how to be submissive, don't know how to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm gonna let him handle this. That's my man. I'm gonna let him handle this. We don't need you in the background pointing your fingers at a man's face, talking about woo woo woo, because the guy in front of you is finna get shot because of your mouth. We need you to step back. This is what the middle ground men have to deal with. We got to deal with this. And a lot of men have checked out. Like, yo, I'm not dealing with this. And the men who try to shame you because you don't deal with it no more, or you don't got your passport, those men are well-to-do. They got the pick and choose of the best quality, the most educated women. They got influence. They got money. Those are the men who basically, they good. So they try to tell you, man, you need to take that, man, and woo woo. I don't want that. Black and white men in America are telling you, we don't want that. We don't want you coming fat as hell with 3 or 4 kids, looking like a goddamn beast, talking like a goddamn beast, and then on top of all of that, you serving out black pills. Y'all know what a black pill is. That's when your wife or your girlfriend have an affair on you, and she's serving out black pills. Not only are you overweight, not only are you crazy with the mouth, not only are you not submissive, and not only if we say something about it, we consider the bad guy some kind of demon that beats on women when we're not. On top of all of that, you got men out here will tell you, you wrong for getting your passport. Man, I'm gonna go find me a chick somewhere else. I'm not dealing with this. I'm gonna let you deal with that. This is what's going on in America between men and women. I'm gonna get more specific. Black men and women, because white men still have a level of control over the majority of their women. Mexicans have total control. You don't see this shit going on in the Mexican community. Yes, they got fat women. Yes, they got overweight women. Yes. But those Latino women are submissive. They let their man take charge. She don't give a damn about him being 5'2". That's her man, and ain't shit going on around here unless he approve it. They ain't playing like that. Chinese, Japanese. Most of them women, they only fuck with Japanese, Chinese, or they fuck with white people. We got the only aggressive ass beast in modern society. And then you got these lames out here that got money and influence trying to tell you, because you middle class and you don't have the money and influence they got, you need to accept that and help them. Get the fuck out of here. We ain't on that. I work hard for my money. I don't want to give it away on a woman that's finna give me a black pill. I don't want to give it away for somebody else's kids. You go tell her to go back to the dude she got them babies by and tell him he need to step his game up. Oh, but he rich though. He married to this model chick. she can't really go over his house and bug him for some money, so she got to get it from another dude. This is what's going on in America. This statue right here says a lot. It speaks volumes. If you really pay attention to what's going on in our communities, men in general, especially black men, have become fed up. Especially the black men who are middle class or lower middle class. We fed up because we caught between YNs. That's who we caught between, YNs and influential men. Young niggas and wealthy niggas. That's who we caught between. The YNs out here killing each other. They doing whatever. Most middle class and lower middle class men are lumped in with them. And then you got the upper class black men, the ones, the NBA players, the NFL players, or the CEO black men, the producers of companies. You got them. They laughing all the way to the bank because they know they got 2 or 3 side pieces. I'm gonna tell you a story about what's his name, Boogie, Big Boog, or whatever that rapper name is. This man did some shit that was so outrageous. There was a black guy, middle class black guy, who met this girl from Honduras. Her mother died, and since her mother died, she had to go back to Honduras because she's not a legal immigrant. He fell in love with the girl, married her so she could stay in America, had 2 kids by her. He might be middle class, but he knows some influential people. So when he knows these people, his girl knows these people. So sooner or later, she ran across Big Boogie, Ace Boogie, whatever his name is. So when she ran across him, he basically took her from the other dude. Now mind you, she's Americanized. She might be from Honduras, but she's Americanized. Her mother brought her here as a child. But now that she's a grown woman, she's totally ingrained in modern day black American society. So now she's hiding out with this rich rapper, Boogie, and the dude crying on the internet like, man, where my kids at, man? Give me my divorce. So this is what's happening. If she divorces him, she has to get deported. Because you got to stay married to an American citizen for so long before you can get your citizenship. So Big Boogie is hiding the girl out at his mansion, refusing to sign the divorce papers. They trying to wait for the time to run out. And that goes to show you he don't really want this woman neither. Because get her a divorce, marry her yourself. That way she can stay in America. He don't want to do that. He just having fun with the chick. And then he got enough nerve. This is what I mean when I say middle class men are stuck in between young niggas that's poor broke and ain't got shit, ain't trying to get shit, and the rich upper class who shitting on everybody. This man gets on an interview and the man asked him about it. He said, yeah, man, I heard you dating some guy's chick, man. He's married to the woman. He's like, man, I'm a grown man, man. It ain't my fault she chose me instead of him. You know, he had like he was just some big shit. It was crazy. Crazy. And this man is wondering where his kids are. This is what I mean when I say that statue means a lot. Because you got these average ass women who have turned themselves into whores, and after they spend their 20s and 30s whoring out, they come back to you fat, bloated, with an attitude like you expect to treat them like queens. Bitch, you ain't no queen, you a slut bucket. Why do I gotta suffer for that? Why do I gotta give you my resources? This is why that statue means a lot. But it's also sad. Now let's get back into the show. Because I want to get to this guy right here. This guy, he did a commentary about that statue that I really think some of y'all need to hear. Because this is serious.
You don't laugh at her.
Look at her.
And the only person that should really be mad is a black woman. And we're not mad.
She got white woman hair. That's not your hair. She got white woman hair and being proud of an overweight statue with kinky curls, crochet braids in her hair. Disgusted.
See us. Every single day when they go to work, they see us. She's us. And she's black. And she's tired. We are tired. You didn't think we was tired? That's art. If you cannot understand how artistic and creative that statue is, kick rocks. That's art. Black women are art. Whether she had an afro puff or a dress on with a push-up bra, she's still gonna be there. They chose us before they put a 12-foot man.
There it is.
That's good.
There it is.
They would have never did that. New York is really lit. I love my city. I love my city. We used to have colonizers and slave owners as statues. On 14th Street, 42nd Street, they had George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. We yanked them bitches down.
Now we got overweight sisters as statues. We done went from slave master statues to overweight, sassy, non-cooperative black woman as a statue. She proud of that.
Now there's George Floyd and that black lady. Love it. Anytime somebody thinks they teach to say something disrespectful about a black woman, is your statue there? I don't see a statue that look like you there.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm cool with that statue. That's power. A lot of people love us. A lot of people love us. We fit the beauty standard. Companies love us. We make things shake. We make things sell. So yeah, put the statue up. Put some more. I don't give a damn if that lady was missing a leg, if she was in a wheelchair. She's me. I'm black, and I'm proud.
And you know how sometimes you sleep on something long enough, it'll come to you. It'll come to you in a dream. How you want to talk about something. Now, my subs and you guys have been wanting me to talk about the statue of the black woman that's in Times Square. Some people are laughing, some people are angry, you know, some people are uplifted by it, yada, yada, yada. That's what's going on. And, but most people are not going to see it the way I'm going to see it. And I know most people on both sides are not going to agree with my take. But it's an honest take after sleeping upon it. And it's something I felt when I first saw the statue. So here goes. What did I see when I actually looked at that statue and I saw what I saw? I actually was sad because in my estimation that is the modern black woman on display. Frumpy, overweight, insecure. Master Yao has always said that a black woman is an emotional masochist. The permanent victim, the permanent woman that thinks she's unseen. Now, I was listening to Dr. Sabrina Strange. I've heard her, and I've actually pasted some of the things from her. And I wanted to know exactly where she's coming from and what she actually thought, what she actually felt, and why she believed what she believed, and why was she so angry with men and black men in particular. And I realized that the first thing she said is that black women, especially, are not sufficiently white, which means black women don't believe that they measure up to whatever standard is in their head. And they do all kinds of things, they dress it up, get butt injections, they protest on TV, they get hair extensions, colored contacts, bleaching feet, all kinds of stuff to cover up not what we see, but cover up what they see in the mirror. In the end, they become exactly what they are inside. And so eventually your inside will catch up with your outside. And this has been inside the black woman forever. And all I'm seeing now with modern black women and with the statue is their inside is catching up with her outside. No matter how pretty she may be, or she may appear to be, she may try to be, but what her claims is the smartest, the most educated, the most dominant, the most moral, the prettiest, the people try to be like me, they try to copy me, with white women trying to steal my swag and my style. Those are all projections. Those are all projections. Those are all projections of what she wants to be, or what she wants to believe about herself. Because she actually doesn't. She doesn't believe that about herself. What she believes about herself, which is why they're so quiet about the statue. You notice most black women have not really said anything about the statue. And some might come out and they might give a performance. For the most part, black women have not said anything about the statue. Why? Because they know what it is. They know what it is. Any other time, they'd be angry, but they know what it is. And basically, it's come from a black man that's not from this country. He has depicted what he sees from the average black woman.
I said that earlier. This black man from Europe came here to America, and he's only an artist who sees what he sees in black women in America.
That's why he picked this shape. That's why he picked those clothes. That's why he picked that look. Because that's who black women see themselves as, especially the modern black woman. This is the way she sees herself. This is the way things appear to her. It's just good. She's not shaped sufficiently well. She's not sufficiently desired. She doesn't have the look that she desires. She wants to be Nordic. She wants to have blonde hair, long blonde hair, the blue eyes, the sufficiently white skin. She wants to be thin, white, and compliant, as Sabrina Strings said, that she's supposed to be, right? But she's not. She's loud, she's overweight, she's obnoxious, she's dark. And not only have they looked at themselves that way, and so almost in a negative way, they've embraced it. They're not compliant. They're not.
Hear what he said, right? They embraced it.
Nice. They're not sweet. They're combative. They're loud. They're obnoxious. They're harsh. And sometimes even violent, which is something they project out onto the men. Which is why most black women love thugs, as we call it. They love violent men because that reflects who they are. Everything that black women choose reflects who they are. They'd rather go out and dine, and eat, and gorge themselves rather than get in the gym and get in shape and get their body right. They'd rather watch a reality show with women fighting each other and arguing each other and going back and forth rather than read a book, rather than talk about philosophy. They'd rather see their kids entertained in sports or dance or sing or even other kind of performance art that makes them laugh and tickles them, rather than see their kid be a scientist or an engineer or philosopher or politician. They'd rather see their boys go to prison and go to jail and go to the street and go on drugs, rather than see them be Barack Obama, be Robert Smith, or Zadie Oak, well-educated, well-schooled. They don't see it in their voice. In fact, they sabotage their voice. I've heard it more and more and more times than I can imagine. I see it in my own family. That's why I put out the video about the hobbling of black boys and black men. They can't allow you to be something that they don't think they can attain. They don't.
In other words, if she can't attain it, she gonna turn her son husband into something she can't obtain. Get the message.
Think they can be the beauty standard. They don't think they can be sufficiently successful. So they don't want you to be. It was better to give the white woman power and the jobs and access than you have it. Because they really, in their heart of hearts, don't believe that they deserve it. They don't. That's the sad part about it. That's what the statute shows me. The statute should have never been made. The statute should have never been allowed to be put up. The statute should be taken down immediately. The thing is, it can't be. Why? Because this is their symbol. And a lot of black men come out and said, this is us. They said that this is us. This is who we are. This is who we are. This is who I am without the makeup, without the extensions, without the cover-ups that I put on. This is who I am. This is who I try to hide. This is who I blame black men for making. This is why I project my failings onto black men. And after projecting my feelings on the black men, when I do actually make them fail, what do? Try to bury him for him. And when he finally wises up and figures out that I'm feeding him poison, he tries to escape. What do I try to do? I try to track him down and find him so that I can continue feeding him the poison.
I'm going to end that right there. I hope y'all took something from that today and come up with your own judgment about this. But like he said, it's the poison that's keep being fed. And it's coming from the top, which is the white majority. I often talk about gatekeepers. That shit is real. And a lot of times these gatekeepers involve black women. They can control black men through black women. And some of the black men that's involved in this are well-to-do, well-influenced, got money, got promise, and they roll with this. I hope y'all learned something from today. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.